Good evening, everybody. All right, so this is a wooden Easter egg, y'all. I got this at Hobby Lobby years ago, and I decided to just use it as my template. And I know that like Dollar Tree sells eggs this size, so you can get one from Dollar Tree for a template. I'm just going to tell you the reason I don't use those from Dollar Tree, because they're, you know, $1 a piece, instead of having to cut out the foam board, is because they warp and bend easy when I go to cover them. The foam board is more stable. So that's why I do what I do. All right. So what you're going to do first, okay, is you just going to trace around this Easter egg like you know what you're doing. Now, by all means, if you don't have good hand strength or something, you'll probably just buy the wooden ones. If you do, you need to buy 2 of the wooden from Dollar Tree and glue them together so it'll be more stable. That's my best advice for that. Okay. Then, once you have traced it, get your box cutter out and cut out your magical egg shape. Whoop, whoop. I wasn't going to make y'all suffer through me cutting it. So, now we have our foam board cut out. The first thing that you need to do, okay? The first thing that you need to do before you get going really, really good, don't forget to do this, is I use felt to put on the back. So we're going to trace out our piece of felt for our backing. And this is just to keep the back all pretty and nice. And it's important that you do this before you cover your egg, okay? Because otherwise, later on, once you put it, it'll be too big. Okay? So once you do that, cut around. And I always cut around so that the marker disappears. Now, normally I'm making these in bulk several times, and I'll cut several layers of this at a time. Now, the reason I like making my own is because it's easier to make my own eggs to match my florals, if that makes sense. Because if you find an egg, then you got to go match the florals. Sometimes you can't do that, so I can make my egg to match the florals that I like. For an example, we're going to do orange and pink, okay? The orange and pink is really, really popular this year. So I can make an orange and pink one, match my orange and pink florals that I have. Understand? So you can pick your florals first, then your fabrics. You can do your fabrics with fat quarters. So it makes it an inexpensive project as well. Alright. So next up, I like to use quilt batting. I get the twin size, typically high loft, and I get the twin size. You can buy more if you do more, but even when I do more, I get the twin size because it's easier to handle and cut, and I don't feel like I have as much waste when I get the twin size. Okay. However many layers is up to you. Oh, I have enough scrap. Yay! I love it when a plan comes together. I love it when I have enough scraps sometimes. So however many layers that you do, that's going to be up to you, depending on how thick and lofty and, you know, you want yours. I like to do mine with 4 layers of the quilt batting. I like mine to be nice and, I like mine to be a little bit thick. Okay? So here's our egg. All right. And we're going to start out by hot gluing our egg onto our quilt batting. Yikes! And then what I do to make sure my quilt batting doesn't move while I'm cutting it is I stick my layers Now, some people like to use polyfill. I don't like using polyfill because it could end up being lumpy, and I don't want my project to be lumpy, okay? So that's why I choose to use quilt batting when I do my wreath attachments. And normally, if I'm doing them in bulk, y'all, I will measure so much more closer to the actual size of my egg so I don't have so much waste. But since I have scraps, that's what we're going to do. So then once we have our layers attached together, now we're just going to go around our egg. I leave about 1/4 to 1/8 of an inch around my edge. Now we have our egg already stuffed before we started, like that. All right, so like I said, we're going to do orange and pink because it's really popular this year, orange and pink, right? So that's what we're going to do. The other reason I like doing these, it kind of gets rid of my scrap fabrics that I have. We're going to lay that down, and we're going to give a good little guess on how much we need and cut off the excess. And there's our orange. All right, we're going to start out with our orange. Oh, I hear UPS, y'all. That's a good thing. Mr. UPS is here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay a little bead of hot glue across the straight edge of my fabric just to start with my egg. Now, for those of you that you might want to, who knows, you could just take something and lay it across as a guide, mark wherever where you want to lay your fabric. Okay? Up to you. But we just need a little bead across the top. That's going to help hold our fabric in place as we pull it around the back. The egg itself is going to end up being about 13 inches, I think, when I'm done. It's about 12 inches, so about 12 1/4 after it's covered. Okay. Now that we got that part done, now we're going to come around to the back. Do a little bead of glue. Same on the other side. Now keep in mind, I have 0 patience. So I use my hot glue gun on low temp, so I'm not having to wait so long for it to cool. I mean, like, no patience. Actually, that's not true. I do have patience, but I don't know if I'd still be crafting if I had to wait a long time for the glue to dry. Anybody else ever feel that way? Okay, so I like to start, put one more at the bottom. Now this part just gets easy. Don't go any further than your hand can hold is what I tell people when you do this. UniqueInTheCreek.com has arrived. And believe you me, folks, there's a lot of people that will sit there and go, well, why don't you just make your own? There's some people that just don't want to make these things, y'all. They just want to buy them. I just need one thing out of that box. It's a hummingbird kit. That's not it. That definitely is not it. That is. Okay. And then cut the excess off. Now, when I do these in bulk, y'all, believe you me, my fabric measurements are a little bit more precise. That way I don't have so much waste. Okay? So there's what we have so far. There's the bottom. Now let's do the top. Once again, we'll put a little bead of glue across our fabric to get started. Miss Laurie, the kit is here, so we're going to do that next. Perfect timing because I'm just about done with this. This is really quick. Y'all get a 2 for tonight. Kind of awesome. Once again, come around to the side. These are actually 2 quick projects tonight, y'all, because we're going to do the hummingbird on the rectangle board. So have no fear. Hey, Laurie, how you liking your hay dudes, by the way? We introduced Laurie to hay dudes her last visit. Aren't they? Ta-da! Like I said, this was just scrap fabric that I had hanging around. As y'all know, I make those big bows, so sometimes I end up with a considerable amount of scraps. And then, the pièce de la résistance. This is like the perfect thing. Y'all ever get some really pretty ribbon, but the wire in it is junk? This is the perfect solution for that. All day long. I'm just gonna let you know, don't push down on the ribbon when you put the glue across here, because otherwise the ribbon will come seeping through. Don't do that. Put your glue across there and go like this. Okay? Don't go and do not do that. Do not do that. It will seep through. I didn't put anything on top of the wooden egg. We used foam board. Yeah, just go back and watch the replay. It'll explain the whole process. Wooden egg was just my template. Okay. Ta-da! And you can put a bow on there, flowers. You can dress it up however you want to. I'm probably just going to put a flower on it that I use for my floral arrangement. Kind of thing. But now we're going to finish it up. Put a nice backing on it. And now it's ready to go. It's just pink felt. Ta-da! And that took about 30 minutes from start to finish, y'all. So that's super easy project, super quick. And like I said, it's easier to make those to match my flowers instead of reverse.